Just the name of it?
The name of it was The Purpose and the Power of Prayer.
And then it was breaking down like a scripture or so. It was like discussing a scripture.
Yeah, what stood out to me in this particular scripture, it was talking about faith. And what is faith? And faith is calling on to the unseen as if it's already into existence.
Yeah, that is interesting. Calling out to the unseen like it's already in existence, because in a way, depending on who's doing it and where you're at, they could be looked at as voodoo or black magic or witchcraft or something. But all of those is like titles for things that people don't really understand or are not aware of. And you know how it is with things you don't understand. You try to like either poke it with a stick or call it a nasty name until it gets, I guess, popularized and then has a new name, you know? But calling on the unseen, sometimes you might not be able to have an ear for the unseen if you're not like looking for it.
Exactly. And the book also went into detail about that, because how do you continue to cultivate and develop your faith? It is by the word, by what you hear and what you see. It's basically what type of, because there's more than one diet instead of just consumption, or I should say eating. There's the diet of what you watch and what you listen to. So what are you continuously meditating on? What is your thought life? All of those do play a part in this experience of faith.
Life. Yeah, that has a serious like correlation to how I was feeling about how the dream realm is. Like sometimes your thoughts can have you like cut off from accessing certain things, elements in dreams, right? Like if, let's say, you got like something like a school assignment that was due and you're stressing about it because you know you haven't studied. Sometimes you might have a dream that you getting up and you in the class and you about to take the exam and you stressing out, freaking out. That could just be an example. But like as far as like accessing things about this planet, because you did say you have to acknowledge like that you need a supernatural assistance in this realm.
Yes, when you do call upon God, you are admitting and acknowledging your submission and that you need external help and that supernatural extension of yourself.
Yeah. So like as far as that access goes, like a lot of times, let's say mainstream has been kind of mainstream media or whatever, and our culture has like led us to believe like the only way is through words. So that's why it's hard for others to have like that type of connection or real definitive experience, because they're looking for God to talk to them or to jump out in a burning bush, right, and speak to them like he's spoken to other people in the past. And if they don't have that as evidence, they go about their day and they go about their way.
Yes.
So
I like how you said that. Go about your day and go about your way. Yeah, and that's why it's, man, it sounds so cliche to be like, pray, talk to God. Sometimes it might be difficult to form and articulate those words or just find that connection because you don't have that burning bush or that evident sunshine beaming down on you to let you know that God is listening. That's why it's important to build upon your faith and also create a habit, because we also have to understand that prayer doesn't come automatically as we think or ought, or as we think it should. And so you got to make it into a habit, and that's why it's very important to
well, it might be hard to turn it into a habit if you're not noticing like results, like how you said, to conversate with God or such. when you conversate with a person, you get instant replying, and if you don't get instant replying, you know you're getting ghosted. So sometimes people can feel like they're getting ghosted by God, and it's not cool to talk to someone who's not responding to you. But when that happens, I should say, and when that happens, it can prompt someone to want to change the approach or feel like they don't have any connection, right?
Okay. Yeah, and then I see what you're saying. That's why consuming the word and his promises is very crucial, because the more when you're in the process of getting to know someone, what are you trying to really know? You're trying to know their character. You're trying to get to know their core, their likes, their dislikes. Why? So you can build a deeper relationship with that person. And that's the same with God. I should have backtracked on that statement and said, talk to God. It's much more than that, because sometimes you don't have the words to articulate. But at the same time, you got to understand, he already knows what you're coming there for. So...
But as far as seeking a presence, people want to seek a presence with him. And I feel that presence is possible through the dream realm. As strange as it may seem, I feel like it's a way that you could communicate with him on a spiritual level, to where you actually leave your body, because in the Bible somewhere it says away from the flesh is closer with the body. And no, away from the flesh is closer to God. Away from, that's good. Okay. So it's away from the body is closer to God. So he must give us this access, like a communication, a form of communication that most of us probably don't mess with, because we don't see the value of it, because of how weak it is. So for example, like cell phones and Dixie cups, right? So if we would have never had Dixie cups, we would have never been able to get the cell phones. But we had to start off small, right? Like most people would probably like stop messing with the Dixie cups if you try to relate that to the dream realm, right? So the more you mess with the Dixie cup, the more like we as humans, the more we started messing with the Dixie cup, we started adding frequencies to it, started understanding about sound. Then we got Morse code, and then we got calling, and then we got calling from in different countries, and then we got FaceTime, and you can look at somebody now. But that would have never happened if we would have gave up on the Dixie cup. You get me? So the dream realm could be like the Dixie cup. With me, from my experience, I was just in a position to where I was kind of focusing on the Dixie cups. So the more I focused on the Dixie cup, the more I started noticing what could be done with it, and then I started looking at it as a telecommunication source, where most people, would put the Dixie cup down and saw no use of it. But now I see that you can build upon the dream realm, and you can see the past, present, even the future. They have been called different names over the years, like astral projection or so. But you can talk to spirits there. You can even talk to dead relatives. But it does take a practice, So if you don't practice with it, you kind of won't really advance with it. But that, I believe, is the way we can talk to or get closer, But,
so my question to you is, could you provide me with a list or a few tips or advice to help me advance on my journey?
So the thing, or if you wanted like tips on getting like more spiritual or focus on the spirit realm, you would have to kind of focus on your blocks, and what blocks you is what worries you. Or if you have any worries, that can definitely keep you from having that stable connection in the dream realm, because all a worry is a lack of control, or a fear of lack of control. So if you're worried about getting put out, that means you're worrying about your bills not getting paid or so. Or if you're worried about let's say your child getting hit in a car accident because he's a reckless driver or something. That might be on your mind, even though it hasn't happened or it might not happen. But if you worry about things like that, that can prevent you, because that can put you in a situation where you see it in a dream and you're not able to really, be aware of your surroundings in a dream. Because the main thing people lack is awareness once you're in a dream, because everybody dreams every night. It's just having that awareness. Usually people be so tired of what happened throughout the day that they can't focus, or be so mad when they're going to sleep, or just be worried about what's going to happen the next day, or if they can execute the day like they planned it to, that they forget that that's the place where you can come alive in a way, a whole nother way.
I want to thank you for that, because I do believe what you did say about.
Let's actually go this way.
Oh, okay. What you said about what blocks you, that it's very important to find that resistance.
So back to the book though that you were referring to. What was the name of it again?
Oh, it's The Purpose and Power by Dr. Miles. Last name is Monroe. Great book, and definitely do recommend it. Oh, so what I was saying about it was, I was kind of taking that perspective in this particular chapter about the unseen. What is actually faith? Faith is dealing with the unseen as if it has already came into existence. And I just wanted to tie that into the dream realm, because it's something that we all don't really speak about. It's kind of like going back to what you said with the Dixie.